Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Cool to see you can get fresh seafood. It's really fun. Snacks. Take a tour. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. To all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. So you asked and I'm answering Q&As on buying a house. So I'm in my dining room because my office is super hot because the heat, it is so hot in there because the sun is facing my office. So I can't, you know, sometimes when I do videos, I sometimes get flushed because either I get excited about talking to you guys or I get nervous and my face will just get hot and I really play it off. You guys can't tell. But I'm in here so I can take my time. I can talk to you guys. I want to make sure that I don't skip anything and I don't rush through anything. I want to fully answer your questions. Yeah, so please like, comment, and share. I'm not gonna even edit this out. I'm gonna show y'all how I really be making mistakes. Be editing. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would most greatly appreciate it. Please hit that notification bell button so when I drop new content, you guys will see it. So yeah, as I was saying on my last video, y'all like when I do these discussion videos. So I'm gonna definitely make more time and more availability to make sure that I am giving more discussion videos. Sorry, I'm trying to get situated. So yeah, so I can give more time to you guys. I can give more of me, more availability, more information, more advice. You know, let's talk. Let's you know, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Okay. So disclaimer: I am not a real estate agent. I'm not a lease officer, loan officer. I am none of these things. I'm not a leasing agent. So I have to give that disclaimer because so many people ask me, are you a real estate agent? So I gotta give y'all kind of the backstory. So when I was younger and we used to come to Texas when I was a kid, I loved looking at houses. I always saw beautiful big houses here. So I always knew that they were here. And literally, I promise you, I don't know, do they still make VHS players? Because my brother has all of our family videos and I wish I could get one because I could literally show you guys footage of me recording houses when I was like 10 or 11. Like I was the one that was recording everything. So I look back now and I'm like, that was an indication of a passion that I had that I didn't know and no one ever noticed it and it was never nurtured. So, you know, as time went on, you know, life hits and you just kind of forget about the things that make you feel good or that you know, are passionate about or things that, you know, could be something. And, you know, it's just life happens. So for me, all of this is enjoyment. It's fun. It's, you know, I like looking at houses. I like talking about it. You know, if I knew then what I knew now, gotta look at the camera. If I knew then what I knew now, yes, I would have went to school for real estate. Yes, I would have went for something of it. But, you know, being a single parent, you know, you gotta survive and whatever job you can get is the job that you have to go with. And that was something that was in the medical industry. So in order to grow with the job that I had, I needed to go get further educated on it, which was the medical industry. So I ended up that's what I have my associates from is health management and associate of arts. So with that said, you know, I just haven't, up until now, I just never thought about going to school for real estate or about doing it. You know, all of this is just me walking on faith with my YouTube channel. Like, I just shared stuff that I liked. You know, I wasn't doing it hoping that, you know, people would come to me, I guess, for the information. Because I'm like, well, I only know information based on what I went through and what I experienced. The information I'm going to give you today is information that I learned kind of like on the job. You know, me, when I bought my house, you know, I asked questions. I wanted to know. I wanted to make sure I was getting a good deal. Like all of these things, the questions that people don't ask, I was asking. And so it was just experience that I learned while going through the process. Like, you know, my channel is not based on finding homes. It's not. It's not. It's just I enjoy sharing it. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy, you know, coming to Dallas and not knowing the areas and where the homes were and what they look like and what could you get. Like all of that I learned just from living here and being here for some years and just paying attention and just looking at homes. And you know, I'm big on manifesting. So when I was looking for a house, I think I said this in a couple of my other videos, I just would go and look at houses because I desperately wanted a house of my own. So I only share it because no one shared it with me. And I feel like if I'm able to help one other person's journey be a little easier than mine was, you know, maybe you won't make that same mistake that I made and I had to learn the hard way. Maybe you'll know, oh, hey, let me look for this because that girl told me, you know. So that's kind of where it comes from. But as of late, you know, with a few people, I've seen your comments. I said I was done with school. I said I didn't want to go back. I said I just didn't want anything to do with school. And now y'all got me looking into real estate classes. Y'all got me looking at them. I can't even lie. And then my husband is like, why don't you go? And you know, and like I told him, and he told me, okay, take a year off. Like you deserve a year off because y'all don't even know, like taking biology and math back to back really did a lot to me in terms of stress. So I just am not ready to commit myself. And especially with all this that's going on, I'm gonna have to homeschool the baby and I still work full time. So it's only so much I can take on my plate without me being severely stressed out. You know, I'll break out of shingles when I get super stressed. So, you know, in order to protect my mental health, you know, my husband's like, just take a year off and see how you feel. So whether or not, I don't give y'all the information because I want to get paid for it. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it solely because I want to put my people on, and that's just it. If it happened to come, however it comes, then I'm gonna welcome it. You know, I know how to accept. But I have been looking at some classes. You know, I do see that the school I go to is offering them. So, you know, we'll see how I feel in a year. We'll see where I'm at with it. And, you know, if it calls for me to go, then, you know, we'll see what it do. And because, you know, a lot of you guys are right. Like, I'm really referring people to other people who are getting paid for it. Like, they ain't hit me up and say, hey, girl, I'll give you 50 for your referral. But I'm not referring it to them to give them money. I'm referring you to people that I know are legit and that would take care of you. So that is the reason why whenever y'all hit me up, hey, do you know anybody? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll send you the information because I know that they good people and I know that they'll take care of you. It's not about money for me. It's about making sure that you get sent to people that'll look out for you and make sure you good. So it's not about the money. It's for the pure enjoyment of helping others, if that makes sense. So with that said, please like, comment, share, and subscribe if I didn't say that already. Please hit that notification bell. And so I made a post on Instagram that said I'm doing a video because what I realize is I'll do videos and I'll give you information and then you guys will have questions for me. So what I think I'm gonna start doing is occasionally posting like, hey, I'm gonna do this kind of video. So y'all need to follow me on Instagram. It's at Lotta, like my YouTube name. But cause I'll put on there, hey, I'm gonna do a video on this. Do you have any questions? Because my thing is I wanna make sure that you're getting the information that you are looking for. And if I don't know it, I'll let you know. That way you won't be looking for it. Or I'll tell you, hey, go look here for it. And you know, you can research that on your own. But I want to make sure that I'm giving you the information and the knowledge and the advice that you are seeking that will help you in your journey to wherever, whether it's renting, whether it's moving, whether it's buying a home, whether it's, you know, whatever have you. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the most accurate, detailed information that I can possibly give you that will help you. So without further ado, questions that you guys want to know. And I wrote them down and I have a total about, I have 20 questions total, so I'm not gonna rush. I'm already at like 9 minutes. So if you guys wanna scroll through whatever question you hear that may not be applicable to you, go right ahead. But I need to make sure that I answer every question and that I make sure I'm detailed because I wanna make sure you guys have the right information. So, all right. Again, disclaimer, I am not a real estate agent. I am not. I have no degrees, I have no certifications, I have nothing in this. So this information I'm giving you is solely based on my opinion, on what I experienced and what I went through and what I had to learn on site. So here we go. How much should a first-time home buyer save up? I'm glad you asked. So in my opinion, you wanna save up at least 20%. 20% is gonna make sure that you get the best deal possible, because sometimes when you give lower than 10%, they'll sometimes roll closing costs or roll anything else into your loan. So when it's 20%, you have a better chance of getting a good loan. So 20% is what I would say. I would, depending on the house price, you might be able to come in with lower, but if you do, like I said, it's gonna be typical programs that's gonna help get you into a home with anything lower than 20%. So for my first house, I got the first time home buyer's loan because I was a first time home buyer. I moved out to the middle of nowhere and they wanted to populate the areas. So I didn't have to come in with anything. I walked up with nothing down. But what I didn't know until later, once I tried to sell the house, was my closing costs, taxes, all of that got rolled into my loan. So instead of my house being, it was a 125, instead of it being that, it winded up being like 104, let me see, it was 125. It was like 148 that I had to pay off. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm about to make this amount of money off of it. But no, it was like an extra 14, 15,000 that was rolled over into it that I never knew about. So if you can, 20%, if you can. If not, then look for the programs that will be able to assist you. But understand that when you come in with a lower amount, it's always gonna be something. Just know that. I'm gonna check off as I answer these questions. What areas do you recommend purchasing in? Any area that I recommend, obviously somewhere that has a lower crime rate. You wanna check online for how many sex offenders are in the area. You wanna look for the best school districts, obviously. Look at the schools that are in the areas that you wanna buy and check on the schools, check on the curriculum, check on the stats, all of that. Any city that, to me, where I moved was not a lot of people out there, so that's why I got such a good price, because it wasn't as populated. But areas that you can move to, I mean, it just depends on what type of lifestyle that you're looking for. Me, I wanted to be somewhere where it was more peaceful and quiet. So the further out of the city, for me, I was happier, if that makes sense. Did you use any down payment and or closing cost assistance programs? For my first house, I did not have anything down. I went in with zero. The only thing that I had to pay for, because I built my home, I had to go in with an earnest payment, which was $500. So basically the $500 holds your lot. It's basically showing them I am serious about this, so here's my money. So I gave them $500 and then I went in with nothing. They gave me, like I said, the first time home buyers program. They rolled all my closing costs and all the fees into my loan. So I walked in paying zero technically, and once I closed on my house, I got my $500 back in a check that day. Is it better to get a real estate agent or to sell on your own? I'm gonna say it's better to get a real estate agent because they know information that you don't. They know information that only the people in the world of real estate would know, and you wanna make sure that, because when you sign these contracts, there's like a lot of pages. And you're not gonna read them all. I mean, you can tell yourself that you are, but you're not gonna sit there and read every little thing, because honestly, every little thing you won't even understand. Whereas a real estate agent knows that paper by heart because they see it all the time. So I would say it is better to pay a real estate agent. Yes, better to get a real estate agent. Yes, you will have to pay them, but it's better to pay for the security than to not pay and you get messed over, if that makes sense. When moving, should you sell your home first or find your new house and then sell your current? If you are able to sell your home and then buy your other home in all of the good time span, Okay, so when you're moving, should you sell your home first? And when moving, should you sell your home first or find a new house, then sell your current? It depends on the market, because if the market is slow, your house is not going to sell that fast. If the market is good and it's high and it's selling like hotcakes, then you should put your house on the market. And then that way, you know, you can get your money. You can make sure you have your money for the down payment for the next house. And that way you can let them know when you're moving. You can let the new people know when they can move in, etc. All that can be worked out. Now, if you have money already saved, to save, you already have your 20% and you already have a house. You can even think about renting your house. You may not have to sell it. You could either rent it and then still go buy your new house, and that way you can have residual income with rental property. But if you need to sell that house, then I would say you have to be in communication with everybody, meaning the builder, meaning the people who are trying to buy, meaning they have to let their apartment or whoever they're selling to. It's such a tricky game, and timing is impeccable. It's everything. So I would say if you are able to comfortably sell your home and not have to worry about it, then I would say just go ahead and get your house and start building or start buying. But if you know that you need the money for the down payment, well, then you may have to think about, okay, if I do sell and I gotta be out, can we rent an apartment or can I go stay with family? Like, it just depends on what's best for you and your situation. In me and my family's case, we had to get out my house because the new buyer had to be out of her apartment at a certain time because the apartment had already leased the apartment to some new people. So it was like a domino effect. So in that case, we had to be out and we had to go stay in an Airbnb for 3 weeks until this house was ready. So again, it's just, now if we had family that we could have stayed with, we would have saved some money, time, frustration, all of that. But everybody's situation is different, and you have to keep that in mind when you make your decision for you and your family. I hope I answered that. New construction or pre-owned home? Honey, I build both my houses. If I have to choose, I'm gonna always choose new. I'm never gonna, you know how you see something in the corner of your eye? I'm gonna always choose new, and the reason why I'm gonna always say go with a new home is because a new home has a year's warranty, new roof, new pipings, warranty on everything, new parts, new everything. I'm gonna always go with a new house. I know some people prefer older homes because those homes have been settled into the foundation, but for me, I'm big on energy. I don't know who lived in the house before me. I don't know if they play with Ouija boards. I don't know if I don't play like that. So I'm very big on new energy, new environment. Y'all see my eye red? Ridiculous. I'm very big on new energy and new all that. So we chose to build this next house as well. So I'm gonna always go with a new construction, but you have to understand, if you're in inner city, then there's not gonna really be no new builds. So it just depends. If you can move on more on the outskirts, then you have more of a chance of being able to build your own home, thus dealing, you know, it's just, in my opinion, better. But then also be careful when you're building a home, because some of these builders, and I've told a couple of y'all this, they build these houses so quick. They are not allowing the foundation to settle, and then these people are having issues. My first house took 5 months to build, and this house took almost 7 months to build. So in that time, they're allowing the house to be built, you know, with care, if that makes sense. When you're throwing up a house in 3 months, that's not built with care. They're just throwing them up, and that's not a house that you want to, you know, settle in because the foundation wasn't set right. So I'm gonna always say new build, but be mindful of who your builder is. Your builder matters. What is your favorite part of the home buying process? Getting the keys, getting that check, signing the papers, and being done. It is the most stressful process. So my favorite part is when we got them keys, baby, we were so happy. We were so happy. It was so, I haven't told y'all the story of the second house process, but when we got them keys, the first time I got them keys, and the second, it's almost like a that comes over you. So that's my favorite part, getting the keys. Because once you get the keys, it's a wrap. It's done. It's yours. And you're out of escrow. You don't have to worry about nothing. Everything is done. That's my favorite part. What are some things we should know when buying a house in Texas? again, who the builder is, what their reputation is, where you are building, where you're buying, know your neighbors, know the area that you're in, know the schools, because whatever house you live in, the schools that are within that area is where you're going to be assigned to. So know the schools that you're in, and, you know, just know the area around you, and know that once you plant your roots there, you're there. So you want to make sure it's somewhere where you're going to be happy and at peace. Did you find your own home inspector for the inspection of your home? For the first home, I didn't use an inspector. My buyer had an inspector. So that inspector came to my house and inspected the home. I kept it in pretty good condition. So the only thing that I had to fix was there was a storm. So there was a minor leak that had got in the roof, came through my bathroom a little bit. So you could see like a little wet spot. So I had to fix that. That was about, I think he charged me like $150. Then I had to fix the window seal. That was like $200. And that was it. That was pretty much all I had to do, and I was good. So no, I didn't have an inspector, but she did. And then for this house, once our year warranty was up, my husband had an inspector come through just to make sure that everything was good before, so that way if we need to file any claims, we could. And he was like, y'all house is good. You guys got a good piece of land, good house, good foundation. You guys are good. So yeah, so I never really dealt with an inspector myself. My husband dealt with the one that came here because he was referred by my neighbors. So he was my neighbor's people. So he came recommended. And then, like I said, the last house, the buyer had her own inspector. So beyond that, I per se myself never hired one. Did you put 20% down to avoid a higher mortgage payment? For my first house, like I said, I didn't put anything down, walked in with $0. For my second house, we did put down 20%. I think we put down a little bit more than that because they had it set around a certain amount of mortgage. And I was like, no, we want it to be around this. So they had to redo the disclosure paperwork and do all of that. So we did, because when we bought the house, this is the thing, when you buy a new house, it's standard priced. But if you want to add things like wood floors, as you can see the wood floors in the back, I wanted wood floors. We got upgraded cabinets. We got an extended patio. We got stone on the front house. We got, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. But wood floors ain't cheap. So the house price went from one price to up a little bit. So of course, when they did the original disclosure paperwork, the amount was set on the original price, but once we did the upgrades, it changed the home price. So they had to redo the disclosure paperwork because they gave us an amount of mortgage, and I was like, nah, we'll put more down. I want this to be around here because if anything happens, we know that we can cover the mortgage. You don't ever want to be house broke where you're paying so much in mortgage that you're broke all the time. Like if push come to shove, if one of us lost our jobs, yes, it would be tight, but we can make it happen if that makes sense. So yes, we did put down a little bit more than 20% to make sure that the mortgage was around what we wanted it to be. How affordable are the homes in Dallas? Not affordable. Well, it depends. Dallas, like I said on my other video, is made in different pockets. So if you buying a house in Highland Park, which is Dallas, that's millions of dollars. If you buying a house in South Dallas, which is Oak Cliff, it may be cheaper. The house is going to be older. Some of the homes are historic. They do need to be refurbished, but reconstructed. But it would be cheaper, but the quality of the house may not be what you're looking for because you may have to put more money into it than what it may be worth. Areas of Dallas, East Dallas, they're cheap, but they're not newer. So you may be going in with the expectation of gutting out a kitchen or gutting out a wall that you may not like, or trying to make it an open floor plan. Like, it's just, they're affordable depending on the area, but also understand because they're not new that you may have to do some work to it, some upgrading to it to make it to your, like, you may not like that bathroom tile, so you may have to redo the bathroom, like little things like that. But when you say Dallas, are you meaning Dallas the city, or are you meaning DFW, like Plano, Frisco, Richardson? Like that question wasn't clarified. But I'm gonna say as of now, it's getting expensive, y'all. It's not what it was 10 years ago. So that's the reason why I push you guys and motivate you guys to buy versus rent, because these people know that a lot of people can't buy or don't want to buy, so they're taking advantage of the renter's dollar. They're like going crazy with the rent here. It's ridiculous. What would be the mortgage for a $250,000 home? So probably about 14 to 1500, I'm thinking. It depends on how much you put down. It depends on your credit. All of that matters. But I would say about 1500-ish. If anybody got a house for that, you can drop that below, and if you want to disclose that information. But I say about 15 to 1600, depending on how much you put down. How easy, difficult is it to have a home built? It is easy, but it's difficult. Because the both times that I had my houses built, I was over there checking. You know, you want to make sure that you cool with the builders. You know what I'm saying? I would go over there and be like, y'all want some water? Y'all good? Because they'll leave beer cans in these walls. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure that you at least treat them with dignity and respect. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my process of building was easy. I'm going to say that my second house was a little bit more stressful because we had some difficult people that were building the house, and we had to kind of like regulate on them for a few times. But the builder originally that helped us get our paperwork, he was amazing. He is really what kept everything together. But a couple of the dudes who were in charge of like the workers and all of that, they were kind of like jerks. So we would have to like regulate on them a couple of times, but you know, they end up getting it together. They end up doing what we needed them to do. But I was saying that part of it was difficult for me. But in terms of everything else, you kind of just sit back and you just watch your house get built, and you know, you just watch it go from the ground, and you just watch a house come up, and you know, you just make sure, hey, you know, you go in there and you let them know, like, I'm the owner, hey, how you doing? And that way, when they see you, they know that you're here, and you know, they kind of know, they know how it goes. The construction workers know what it is. So as long as you're nice to them, you know, they look out for you. They make sure that they take care, and you know, make sure that your home is built with care and love. As far as paperwork goes, the paperwork for me was very easy. Like I said, the first time I didn't even know what I was doing, so I was just signing my life away and didn't even know. Like I said, I learned later about the closing costs getting rolled over. The second time around was easier for me because I knew what to do. This was my husband's first house, so I kind of like told him what to do, like what it was like. You know, I was like, you're gonna get a big stack of paper, and they're gonna have us sign like 800 pieces of paper. Like literally, you're gonna be so tired of signing your name. So you're gonna be literally signing your life away. So, but the second time, as far as the paperwork went, I was more comfortable. I was more familiar. The first time I was just by myself, like, but you know, overall, it's an easy process. It's easy, but it's hard if you're not informed, if you're not educated. But it's easy for the most part. And that's why you also want to have a real estate agent, because they kind of hold your hand through the process. Versus if you're by yourself, you kind of really don't. You really don't know. And my first house, when I bought it, I did hire a real estate agent because I didn't know anything. So she was so attentive. She was so caring. She gave me like $200 worth of gift cards when I moved to the house. She gave me like gifts and stuff. She was so super sweet. She was so catering. So if I ever needed another real estate agent, I probably would contact her. But I know a couple other people, but for me, she just gave me such a good experience, and she was so caring and comforting to me. Like I was having like nervous breakdowns because I didn't know, you know, I was stressed, and her name is Jennifer Day. She was just so accommodating and so sweet. So I definitely would say that she made it more easy. And then this time around, it was very stressful because of all of the things surrounding building the house, not just building the house itself, but the selling the house and moving and, you know, going to an Airbnb. All of that made this process much more stressful. So I'll have to talk about that another day though. How popular are steel frame homes? Not popular at all. I've never heard of one. I've never seen one. I had to Google it to see what it was. I don't think they make those here. If they do, I am not familiar where. I've never seen one. So maybe Google or have, go on like Redfin or realtor.com or Zillow and see if they have any, but I could not tell you where any are or how they look or are they beneficial. I have no knowledge of them whatsoever. For a 4-bed, 2-bath close to the city, how much would it be? Again, when you say city, are you saying Dallas, Richardson, Plano, Cedar Hill? Where in the city are you looking? I'm gonna assume you're saying city as in Dallas, as in the main city, Dallas downtown, or going towards downtown. I'm gonna say for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, you looking at over 350 at this point. Easy. You're looking at over 350. The further out you move, the cheaper it is. But if you're going to a house in the city, if you're finding one in the high 2s, you're gonna have to probably do some work on it. But a house that's ready, turnkey, move in, well in the 300s, if not more. Are pools common to find? They definitely have subdivisions that have pools. They definitely have, hi Diesel. They definitely have homes that, hold on. They have subdivisions that offer pools. They have pools that you can buy in your own backyard. They have it to where you can build your own pool in your back if you like. They definitely offer that. I mean, it's definitely offered here. My last subdivision did not have a pool. This subdivision does. So it just depends on where you go. But definitely they're for sure available if you want. All the apartments have pools, but a lot of the homes, because people don't want to pay for the upkeep. So if you have pools, you have to pay HOA fees, and a lot of people don't want to pay that, so they don't build a pool. So if you want that, then you definitely can find it. You would just have to go somewhere more than likely where they have a community HOA. Or if you want to build one in your backyard, you would have to see if you could do that as well. How much more is it to have a pool? My coworker just had a pool built, and I think she paid like $20,000, but it's bomb. It's nice. So I think she paid like $20,000, 20 to 30 for sure. Can you find a good community without HOA? I'm gonna say no, because you can have a neighbor now that's cool, and then they can move out, and then you can get some partiers that, you know, have cars on their front lawn, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm gonna always say I would live in a place with HOA, because although they tend to be strict and be on you, and you get your notices that you need to do this, you need to do that, I would rather have that than to have somebody living next door to me that has chickens outside and, you know, cars on their front lawn, and they have fire pits outside, and they partying and drinking. It's nothing you can do because there's no guidelines, there's no regulations. I'm pretty sure they exist where you don't have HOA, but like I said, it's not a guarantee, because the minute that somebody moves on your block and that causes problems, that brings the value of your home down. And honey, I need my home value to stay up because I need that equity. So I'm gonna say no. What are the best communities for young children? Watch my video on the cities that I like the most. Like I said, Frisco, Plano, Allen, McKinney, Cedar Hill, Grand Prairie. I like areas that are more family oriented. So if you want to move further out, Melissa's nice, Forney's nice. I'm gonna say probably that's it that I could think of offhand, but any area with a community that's good for kids is gonna be more on the outside of the city. They're not gonna be within the city. I know Highland Park is within the city, but that's rich folks area. So they have great schools over there, but you gotta have money to live over in that area. So near SMU, but they have all those cities that I just named. They definitely have good communities and Wiley, Saxe. Those are nice areas too. Check in those areas. They're definitely nice. Last but not least, down payment and closing costs on a new build. 20% of the home price. So if the home is $250, then deduct 20% from that $250. That's gonna be how much you need. Also, closing costs typically run about, I think, $7,000 to $8,000 per real estate. So you're gonna be looking at least $12,000 to $13,000 for closing costs, give or take. And also credit matters. So if you need a 620 to get a house. Well, they might have lowered it. I'm not sure. But when we did, it was 620. But basically, no, it was even lower than, I think it was 600. But I'm gonna say at least have a 620. But the thing is if you have a 600 and 699, it doesn't change the interest rate. So if your interest rate is supposed to be, let's just say 4.0, it doesn't matter if you have a 600 or 699. If you have a 699, that does not make a difference. You can keep it at your 600. It's gonna be the same. If you're at a 700 to 799, it's gonna be the same. If you have an 800 to 899, it's gonna be the same. So none of it, you can try to get your credit up. If it's not over the 700, it won't matter. So we were both in the 6s when we got the house. We were trying our best to get over that 700 because we wanted to get a conventional loan and we couldn't. The score that we were at, they was like, we got to give y'all an FHA loan. You guys can try to refinance and get your credit up in a couple of years. So it just depends. But typically first-time home buyers or people who, are of lower wages or, first-time home buyers, like single parents and all that, they typically give you an FHA loan. That's more of a government loan. A conventional loan is more of a private loan. It's more for people who have that 800 credit score, who's established, who got money, etc. So not too many people have conventional loans. If you're not able to get one, don't feel bad about yourself. Majority of us have FHA loans. It's just what it is. But yeah, it does matter with credit. It does matter with how much you put down. But really, whether it's a new build or pre-owned, it doesn't matter. You still will want to put 20% down just to make sure that you can get yourself in a locked-in rate and in a mortgage price, because we haven't even discussed escrow and all of that yet with new builds, and I'll talk about that on another video. But I know I took up your time, so with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope this answers your questions. I hope I gave some good information. If not, please drop some comments below and I'll try my best to answer you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. Talk to you later. Mwah.